Would I be the asshole if I returned a handmade gift to the person who made it? I, 32F, am an indigenous artist in a tiny cabin with limited storage. I've spent years purging stuff and told my friends, family I won't accept gifts other than food or plants because of lack of space, and they understand. 6 months ago, I met a guy, 42M, who hired me to teach him leathercraft and local medicinal plants. I was excited to connect, but things felt off. One day, he said he was wildly attracted to me and questioned if our 10 years age difference would affect our connection. I'm on the spectrum and struggle with social cues, especially romance. I was blindsided and told him I wasn't interested in dating. He later said he's never felt this way about anyone before. I reiterated I had no romantic interest, but he kept pushing the idea of a connection. I denied his advances and avoided one-on-one activities that could be seen as romantic. During one visit, he noticed a knife displayed on the wall. It's a special piece made of Damascus steel with a white-tailed deer bone handle. A collaboration piece with another indigenous artist. The bone's sentimental to me. I've rehabbed, raised, permitted many white tails here and cherish this connection. I told him I don't collect knives, gave away others that weren't family heirlooms, and kept this one because of its significance. Later, he asked what I wanted for my b-day. I pleaded with him not to get me anything and reminded him of my food or plants rule. I specifically said, I don't want a knife. On my b-day, he texted that he had something for me and would drop it off at the gate. I didn't hear from him, and over a week later, I saw a knife in a leather sheath by the gate. It was clearly from him. I checked the cameras and confirmed he'd left it there. He hasn't mentioned it. I feel bad it sat out in the rain, but I'm also frustrated my boundaries were dismissed. The knife serves as a constant reminder of this disregard, and I have no safe place to store it. Would I be the asshole if I returned the knife and expressed how I felt about receiving it? This one of tough. I'd consider just quietly getting rid of it without even mentioning that you received it. I would also cut off contact with him. If you have to do so gradually in order to not sound the alarm, that's totally fine too. He's already shown that he has absolutely no regard for your boundaries, and I don't know how far he'll try to push back if you try to return it. It sounds like he's already trying to see how far he can push you, and graciously accepting his gift is going to send the wrong message. I don't mean to overreact, but this seems a bit unsafe, especially because he knows where you live. Just be vigilant and slowly get away from this guy. Not the asshole. He's a creep. Don't encourage him by being polite, neutral, or nice. He will take it as confirmation that he should keep pursuing you. Read the book, The Gift of Fear. It specifically talks about people who cross boundaries. Stop interacting with this man. Block him if you can. Put no energy into him. Do not feed his delusions. You need to be careful. This guy is disrespectful, boundary-breaking, manipulative, and doesn't take no for an answer. Also, if a guy tells you he feels a connection to you, run the other way. It's a lie. A lure. He wants sex. I am scared for you. This dude sounds so creepy. But by the way, I would love to see your art. Not the asshole, but whatever you do, don't return it to him by yourself. Never be alone with him again. Am I the asshole for reporting a girl who was having a video call with a man in a public shower? So, I live in a university dorm. Here we have public showers, one for males and one for females. In female, *s we have a row of shower cabins, none of which has a door, only some kind of plastic partitions between them. So, if a student wants to cover the front, they hang a towel or a shower curtain. But most of us don't do it. Opposite the shower cabins are benches, where you can keep your clothes and everything while taking a shower, or wait for your turn if there are no free cabins. That, *s the mise en scene. Recently there appeared a new girl, probably foreign, for she speaks some other language. Every time I see her she, *s chatting with someone by video calls. So, 2 weeks ago both her and I were in the shower room and she was having a call with a woman. Her camera was turned the way that the other person could see the shower cabins behind the girl and the people in them. I asked her never to do the thing there again, as she was violating the privacy of other people in the shower room. She seemed visibly irritated, but stopped the call. This Wednesday, again, we were in the shower room. I came there earlier than her, so she probably didn't notice me at first. Suddenly I hear a male voice speaking, and, as you may guess, this girl is having a video call with a man, and again her camera is turned the way that the cabins may be seen. So, I told her I am reporting this to the dorm administrator, for which she told me to F off. Luckily, there were 2 more people, who agreed to be witnesses, and we described the situation to administration. I wrote an official complaint asking to evict this girl from the dorm. Now, yesterday I was told that the girl wasn't only evicted from the dorm but was also on the verge of being excluded. This story has become known among students, and the opinions are divided. Some say I did everything right, While others say that I went too harsh and now the girl may lose a chance of getting an education because of my complaint. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Pretty sure this is illegal as well as creepy. Also, YTF don't the showers have doors? Not to put too fine a point on it, but I believe that in many places what this girl did is a crime. The violation of privacy in a women's space, or any shower room, is absolutely unacceptable. You asked her nicely to cut it out, she didn't. She went one better and violated your privacy with an unknown male. When you were naked, you did the right thing. There's more than one university on earth. This girl can get an education elsewhere. But the price of her education shouldn't be that some random man gets to watch you shower. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I'm sick of people doing crap like this. Video calls are not essential, much less in a private place like a change room. She had fair warning even if she's too dumb and entitled enough to realize that what she did was wrong. Not the asshole. You're not the reason this woman is in the situation she's in. You did nothing to her. It was her own actions, and she's facing the consequences of those actions. Just because you were the first to speak up does not mean that you were the only one who would have. This was going to catch up to her eventually. If anything, you were far more kind to her than she deserved by asking her to stop giving her a chance to change her behavior before someone ended up reporting her. I can't follow the thinking of those who are saying you were too harsh. Harsh how? You reported a sex offender filming in the women's showers. You did the right thing. Not the asshole. You were protecting you and everyone else in the showers. The fact she thought it was okay to video call in the showers is insane. You did the right thing op. Not the asshole. Out of all her options, she deliberately chose video calls on public showers? I bet she could have gone to bed in her own room and do video calls. You know, just like everyone else. But nope, public shower it is. I think the guy should get in trouble too cause he practically commit voyeur on strangers. Am I the asshole for telling a friend I don't need Ozempic? Update. After reading through a ton of these comments I reached out to Hannah and asked to call. We spoke on the phone and I apologized for hurting her feelings and explained that I was not trying to call her fat and simply don't feel comfortable discussing weight loss in that way. I also reminded her that I am in recovery from anorexia, so I am meant to be gaining weight per my recovery program. Before I could go on, she broke down crying and apologized for how she reacted. She said that her boyfriend, known douchebag, had been making a lot of not nice comments about her weight and had compared her to me, saying that I had the ideal body type. I encouraged her strongly to break up with him. She said she really wants to. I then said while I can't go on a weight loss journey with her, I am definitely happy to be her hiking, yoga, spin buddy, and she was really into the idea. Like I thought, she didn't know how serious Ozempic is and how expensive it is. We both agreed that her weight gain is mostly due to the stress of her relationship, and I think she is moving forward in a positive direction. Thank you for all the kind comments, sparkling heart. This is a fight between me, 23F, and my friend Hannah, 23F. For context, I am quite short and skinny. Like if I lost 5-10 more pounds I would look sickly. Hannah is about a foot taller than me and has gained some weight in recent years. Hannah and I regularly go out to eat together. I know that she is unhappy with her weight, but I have never made a comment about it because it's none of my business and because I don't like to encourage diet talk as someone with a former eating disorder. Last week the two of us were getting dinner and Hannah was super jazzed up because she had just discovered what Ozempic is. Don't ask me how she hadn't heard about it before. She was talking about it and jokingly said, "We could do it together, it'd be like a fun bonding activity." I responded, not jokingly because I don't like to make jokes about weight, I'm okay, I'm already quite slender as is. I didn't think much about it, but later Hannah texted me saying that she was mad about the comment and that I was a dick for calling her fat. From my perspective, I was trying to state a fact and just get out of talking about weight loss. Am I the asshole, eh? Not the asshole. Hannah is sensitive about her weight, which is fine for her, but she doesn't need to dump that onto you as well. She needs to manage those feelings in ways that don't require others to walk on eggshells around her. Nothing you said was wrong or insensitive, you were stating a fact about yourself to respond to her suggestion. Not the asshole. A bonding experience over prescription drugs that has known side effects. Definitely not the asshole. Also, talk to your friend about reading up on it a bit more. Wait, she suggested you were overweight enough that you needed to take a medicine for diabetes, with weight loss as a side effect, and she thinks you were calling her fat? Not the asshole. Not the asshole, and your friend is out of line for suggesting the two of you do Ozempic together as a bonding experience. You don't do prescription drugs as a bonding experience, FFS. Also, tell her to read up on this stuff. It decreases your appetite. When you stop taking it, guess what happens? Your appetite returns to pre-drug normal. This was not a drug invented for weight loss, that just happens to be a side effect. Just like Viagra was not invented to give men stiffies, it's just a side effect. Not the asshole. Certainly she can see that you're slender, so why make you say it? It's fine for her to be sensitive, but not to the point of disregarding reality. Not the asshole. And I have a question. Are you close enough that she knows about your previous ed? Because if so, I would say she is the asshole. I know some people that went through EDs and I think it would be insensitive to offer Ozempic to them as a fun activity. Also just a bad choice in general of her part, but that's besides the point here. Am I the asshole for not letting my autistic sister move back in with me? My 27 male mom and stepdad died in a car crash when I was 18 years old. I was able to get their house, which was already paid off, and custody of my little sister, we'll call her Selena, who is now 10 female. I took care of Selena like she was my own kid. Due to that I had to get another job and I missed out on a lot of things. I have ended up stable job now and we were doing okay financially but not perfectly. When she was 8, Selena got diagnosed as autistic. It was hard but I did it because I do love Selena and knew she needed it. A couple years ago our uncle Corey, 47 male, moved closer to where we lived. Before then we only saw him around holidays and a few other visited. With him being closer we became closer. He helped out a lot with Selena and babysat a lot without making me pay anything. Selena got along very well with him and it was wonderful. I also fostered a closer relationship with him and opened out about how hard raising Selena has been. So he offered to have Selena spend some weekends with him. I agreed and it went well. Selena enjoyed the sleepovers. I loved those weekends. I got a break from being the dad I never asked to be. I was talking with Corey about how much I appreciated the downtime and mainly used those weekends to rest and recharge. He then proposed something I hadn't expected. He said that if I wanted then Selena could move in with him. That way I'd be able to recharge when I need as well as have a social life. I was hesitant but then agreed. Selena moved him with him and then I'd be the one sometimes babysitting or sometimes she spent the weekend with me. I felt wonderful. I actually got a more stable social life, did things I wanted to do, started going on more dates and was able to be in girls' home, something I'd never be able to do. For the first couple months Selena and Corey were happy too. It has been 7 months now and Selena told me she wants to move back in with me. She says she misses how things were and that it isn't Corey's fault and that she'd be happy to visit his sometimes but wants to live with me. I talked with her in private, Corey in private, and both of them together. Corey is fine keeping her and she does love Corey, she just loves me more. But I don't want to live with Selena anymore. I want my freedom and space. I haven't been this happy in a long time. I don't want to go back to only going on dates every once in a while, even rarer when I'm able to go back to her place and me always going back home to a kid. So I told Selena no, she is staying with Corey. Selena cried and I tried to tell her it isn't her fault or that I don't love her. I do love her, this is just what's going on right now. She is now mad at me and I do feel bad, so Reddit. Am I the asshole? Edit. The house is very old, small, and broken down. It was built by my grandfather on my dad's side and my dad grew up there. When I was 13 my dad took his life so the house went to my mom. In the will it said very plainly that if my mom died the house would go directly to me and that not even her husband or his family had claims to it. She always intended for the house to go to me. I know that's what she wanted. Nah, just a bad situation. You are looking at this as a binary problem. Sis is here or sis is there. Are there other solutions? Perhaps you and your uncle can co-parent. Sis is there part-time, with you part-time. It's not what sis wants, but being on a fixed schedule may help her adjust rather than just going from living with you to rarely seeing you. I also wouldn't fault you for just stepping back. You've raised this child for 9 years now, stepping up when you had to. That is commendable. I kept bracing myself to hear about Uncle Corey's bad intention and thank God, it never came. Sounds like Corey is someone you trust and that takes good care of your sister. Fantastic. You deserve a life that is happy. Who knows, you may end up with Selena again sometime in the future, but for now, it's perfectly okay to say no. Selena is learning a lesson most adults have already learned. We don't always get what we want in life. Be happy anyway. Not the asshole. Whoops, changing my vote, nah. No assholes here. It's a really terrible situation, man. On one end you did an amazing job basically raising her, however she basically sees you as a parental figure. And no matter what, telling a 10-year-old who's that attached to you that you don't want her to live with you anymore is always going to hurt her. She's too young to understand the sacrifices you've made and you are justified in wanting a life of your own. However, I don't know if you flat out just told her no or actually tried to emotionally explain in terms she would understand. It would be cruel if just flat out no, and she deserves a longer worded answer than that. Also, can't you perhaps find a middle ground like extending the visits of your turn? Babysitting? Or what if you spend more time visiting or something? Not the asshole. It's not like you've abandoned her to the foster care system. She is a child but she isn't your child. You've made sure she is taken care of and now both of you get to have a life instead of just one. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't trade my 2 kids for $1 billion, but I made the choice to have them. How did inheritance work? Are you receiving any money from the estate to take care of her or the house that she is now not allowed to live in? Is or should the house you live in legally be hers too? Also, who has legal custody? If you do, CLD this be considered abandonment? Nah. Some will call you selfish and they are right, but you spend the prime of your young adulthood raising your younger sister, putting your own life entirely on hold. It's okay to be a bit selfish. I think you need to set aside some time with your sister and explain how your uncle is actually better able to care for her on a full-time basis, but that you will never stop being her brother and caring for her too. Then make sure to follow that up with seeing her for some amount of time every weekend and maybe going over for dinner 2-3 nights a week.